Okay. Good morning, everybody. We're going to have to begin and see what we can make of this debate with the speakers we've got with us. So, welcome to the debate. Today we have the debate of Mary's class, and we have the proposition team, which consists of at least parts of Tina, Bill, Sally, Mia, and Brian. And they will be facing the opposition team, which consists of Mary, Sonic, Sally Ride, Myann, and Min. And the topic of today's debate is reading books better than watching TV. The proposition team will be arguing that books are better than TV, and the opposition team will be arguing that TV is better than books. I'll now read out the rules of today's debate. So, rule number 1, 2 teams of equal size will debate on opposite sides of today's topic. The proposition will agree with the topic and argue for it, and the opposition will disagree and argue against it. Rule number 2, there is a moderator who will help to control the proceedings of the debate today. That's myself. If you have any questions about the debate, please direct your questions to myself. Rule number 3, each team will be given equal time to deliver their arguments, rebuttals, and any other information they wish to enter into the debate. Each speaker will be given 3 minutes and 30 seconds to deliver their arguments. When the speaker has 1 minute left to speak, I will alert the speaker. And if the speaker goes over their allowed time by more than 30 seconds, they will have to stop speaking, regardless of how much of their speech they still have left. Rule number 4. Each speaker will take turns according to the order decided by the teams before the debate, beginning with the proposition team's first speaker. Rule number 5. Once the first proposition speaker has delivered their argument, each following speaker will have an opportunity to rebut the previous speaker's arguments in an attempt to weaken their case. Rule number 6. The proposition must not offer any arguments that do not support the motion of the debate. Likewise, the opposition must not offer any arguments that supports the motion, regardless of the debater's personal feelings towards the topic. Rule number 7. If a speaker makes a statement or an argument, they must have evidence to support their claims. Rule number 8. Any evidence presented by the debaters must be both honest and accurate. Rule number 9. Speakers may not introduce new arguments during a rebuttal. They may only attempt to refute the arguments presented by the opposing team. And number 10, if a debater notices that one of the rules has been broken, they are invited to interrupt the current speaker by raising their hand to declare a point of order. Examples include the current speaker talking over their allowed time, or that no evidence has been presented to support an argument. Do all of these rules make sense? Or does anybody have any questions?
No.
Very good. Can I get Brian and Mayan to turn on their cameras, please? Thank you. And finally, okay, so let's get started. I would like to invite the proposition speakers first, the proposition team's first speaker to make their arguments, please.
You're unmute, teacher.
Thank you very much. Goodness. Okay, so is our first proposition speaker here to deliver their arguments? No. Okay. So I will then invite the first opposition speaker to deliver their arguments. You'll just have a bit of a trouble with doing some rebuttals because you don't have anything to rebut against. So is your first opposition speaker, are you here?
Yeah.
Okay, Mayan, very good. Yeah. Whenever you're ready, I've started your clock.
Okay. Hi guys, my name is Mayan. I'm a speaker number 1 and Sonic is speaker number 2. And the last one is me. And today we will talk about the topic watching TV is better than reading book. In my opinion, are also more intense and have a lot of special effects. They are much more easier to understand and they don't take us as much time as book do. Book are something to detail and just go on and on about this one little thing forever. You never have to flip a page in a movie. Watching TV is better than spending money to buy a lot of books. In 1997, scientists Maureen conducted a series of memory experiments on the children in the classes. 4 to 6, he asked children to memorize more new material and found the effect of memorizing. Connect through watching TV is better than memorizing. Through reading a motion picture is more visual and easier to remember. Compared with writing work like books, reading can you box your imagination because you will be a part of the story, yet the movie have you visualize the situation. Easy to movie can be an exciting activity because you can only read book by yourself. On the other hand, the movie watching experience will be different and easy, especially when you watch it your friend or family. For me, in visualization is better than in imagination. But exposure to electronic device should not exceed 2 hours a day, no more than 45 minutes at the time,
1 minute left.
without a 5 to 10 minute break to the eyes to relax. One of the best reason on why you should watching TV more is that is reduce stress. How many us may not think of in it in the lives. TV can be constant to be a great stress reliever unless you are TV are more creative. You and you usually won't be watching show for work in the simplest and easiest to define term. The minimum reviewing distance should be twice the screen size and the maximum viewing distance should be 3 times the screen size. That is, the wider the TV screen, the further away from the TV you have to sit. Avoid sit too close, seeing eye strain, discrete, uh, and discrete after drink vision. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Mayan. And might I just say, you finished with about, so you went slightly over time, but you finished with about 6 seconds left before you were about to be cut off. So very, very close. Good job.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, I would like to invite second proposition speaker, Tina, to deliver her arguments.
So I disagree with the first opposition speaker, when they said that reading it cannot be like read all like with many people, because like if you read, you can read many people by like taking different roles. If like the book has different people, they can different roles and it'd be more fun. And when she said that watching movies or TV is relieve stress rather than reading books, I feel like it isn't right, because con when you read books, you are very focused and concentrated on what you are doing, and you're not gonna think about anything else, and so the stress will just go away. And mm,
1 minute left on the time. Okay, so thank you very much, Tina. I would now like to invite, is the second opposition speaker here? Sonic, I believe that is you.
Good morning. I'm Sonic, the second speaker from the opposition team. I am going to talking favor of watching TV rather than reading books. In my opinion, TV is better than books for the reason. First of all, TV is better than books because the education programs on TV are much more convenient and easy to understand. It is also easy to use for people who cannot see or hear. Books are also likely to be not updated with the latest information about topics, while information from TV can be much more you can be much more accurate and useful. Secondly, if you can only understand or speak a language, but you move to another countries, then most of books are not in your language, but TV come in a different language countries, then most of books are not in, and you can also hear how the words are pronounced in a different language. For example, when we read a Vietnamese or English book, we only know the grammar structure of that language. However, TV help us to read and pronounce various language such as Chinese, English, French, and also on. Thirdly, TV is more helpful as you can watch and listen. Some things be banning, like if we read about building or sport formation, we have to script an merit about that in mind, but when we watch an animation of birding, then we could understand better according to the surplus they come of expand is they come show that normally person can remember 10% of what he reads, 20% of what he hears, 30% of what he sees, and 50% of what he listens and watch. Therefore, watching TV help to make our memory better than reading books. Lastly, told TV to refresh you to be a fixed location to watch, but you can stay at home and watch an informational change, and it is better than books because you can switch to different informational channels of different countries and sheet documents on different subjects. And when you are done listening,
1 minute.
learning and ready to relax, you can switch to a funny show or wait you want to watch as the softly conductance July 30, August 28, 2008 and 80 by Pew Research Center show that America comes to prefer watching the news rather than reading it. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Sonic. You went oh so slightly over time. You had about 20 seconds left before I was going to need to cut you off. So well done. Good timing. Next, I would like to invite third proposition speaker, Bill, to make his arguments.
Yes.
I've started your time. Here we go.
First, I know that book was like it was more comfortable because when we come to school, we can take our book to school. We took in the backpack, but we can't take the laptop, iPad, or iPhone. The teacher, we will break the rules because in the school rules are not invited. The smartphone or many things like that, and books help us to know more grammar structure, and just help us more about language. There are many kind books of language, Spanish, English, but but more important is popular is English. So it took teachers to know about English, and it teaches a lesson. Every book or story, like the book Jack and Three Magic Peas, it tells us a lesson. It helps us know more vocabulary and new words. And when I'm small, I do not know many words, but when I grow up, I read many books, so I know more vocabulary. And sometimes books. I have a book. It's Harry Potter, and the author writes the Harry Potter is very long, but in film they are like they make shorter. So they make the film shorter, so they make differently. So the character in the film could constantly for the character. And I think books will help us, like it will not hurt our eyes. Some time people watch TV too much will hurt our eyes, and sometimes too there are many kind of video in YouTube, Facebook are not good for children, like fighting, and they will harm us, our thinking. It will harm our thinking. So they will some people like they are small children, they will watch it and they will be harmed in our brain and thinking. But books, we have to bought it, we have to buy it. We cannot read
1 minute left.
we cannot read easily, like we don't buy, we just read. We don't we have to buy. So it was so when children don't have money, they cannot buy the book that like about fighting. So I strongly believe that books are much better than watching TV.
Very good. Perfect timing, Bill. Good job. Okay. I would now like to invite the third speaker for the opposition team to present your arguments. Is the third
Teacher.
speaker? Yes?
The third speaker is Mary.
Ah, Mary's not here. Okay, so in that case, I would like to invite the fourth speaker for the proposition team. Are you here?
Yes, it's Sally, right?
Fourth for the proposition, because Sally there says opposition. Okay, so okay, in that case, we shall move on to the fourth opposition speaker.
Teacher, there are four proposition speaker.
Pardon, Sonic?
Is Brian.
Sorry, Brian is proposition speaker for. My apologies. Brian, I'd like to invite you to deliver your arguments.
So we can see readings help us strengthen the brain than watching TV. Using MRI scans, researchers have confirmed trusted source that reading involves a complex network of circuits and signals in the brain. As your reading ability measures, those networks also get stronger and more sophisticated. In one study, trusted source conducted in 2013, researchers used functional MRI scans to measure the effect of reading a novel on the brain. Study participants read the novel Pompeii over a period of 9 days. As tension built in the story, more and more areas of brain lit up with activity. Brain scans show that throughout the reading period and 4 days afterward, brain connectivity increased, especially in the somatosensory cortex, the part of the brain that responds to physical sensation, like movement and pain. uh, Reading books help prevent age-related cognitive decline. The National Institute on Aging trusted source recommend reading book and magazine as a way of keeping your mind engaged as you grow older. Although researcher hasn't proven conclusively that reading books prevent disease like Alzheimer's, studies trusted source show that sensors who read and solve math problems every day maintain and improve their cognitive functioning. Reading may help you live longer. A long-term health and retirement study trusted source followed a cohort of 3,635 adults participants for a period of 12 years, finding that those who read books survive around 2 years longer than those
1 minute remaining.
didn't really read or who read magazines and other forms of media. The study longer those who didn't work at all. Read at all. It may give you a good sleep. Doctors at Mayo Clinic suggest reading as part of reading as part of a regular sleep routine. For the best result, you may want to choose a print look rather than reading on a screen, which since the light emitted by your device could keep you awake and lead to other unwanted health outcomes. Reading has positive effects on our mental health, while watching TV has exact effect. Reading can reduce stress, lower our blood pressure, and our heart rate and muscle tension.
Thank you very much, Brian. Well done. Okay, so I would now like to invite opposition speaker number 4 to present their arguments.
Hello, teacher. I think
Hello.
watching TV is better than reading books just because TV is easier to understand because the lively picture and more fascinating stories. TV is more convenient than books because when you write the title on the TV, you can see lots of different story about it, rather than buying lots of books that cost a lot of money. And for example, if you lost a book that you haven't read yet, you can just, and you can't find it, you can just simply turn on the TV and search for that in the internet instead of looking for the book a whole day. And that's more easier to understand in the TV too.
Okay, thank you very much, Sally. Give me just 2 moments. I'll be right back with you guys. Okay, so we will forego the question and answer session for this debate, and I will invite Min, to deliver his closing remarks, because the fifth proposition speaker, I do not believe, is here currently. Sally, did you still have more of an argument you'd like to make? Because you do still have some time.
I haven't done my story yet.
Your story. You're muted, I can't hear you. You haven't done your story yet. Which story? Do you mean your arguments and your evidence? Well, you've still got time. If you'd like. Oh, you mean you haven't actually finished writing them yet? Okay, no worries. Okay. Okay, so if you haven't finished. Okay. So yes, at this time, I would like to invite Min to present his closing arguments. Just read them to me as you've written them, and I'll mark based off of that. So whenever you're ready, Min, take it away.
Okay, I'm ready.
Go for it.
Hello, I'm Min, the final speaker from the opposition team. The affirmative team has repeated claims that watching TV harms children's eyes, but we disagree. While watching TV for 4 hours straight can be determined, but it's not realistic as most people don't spend that much time watching. According to a research from Chicago University, watching TV for more than 2 hours can cause eye strain, but that's plenty of time to finish a movie. We believe that screen time, in moderation, can be beneficial for children's development. Learning apps like Abeka or Duolingo can teach valuable skills like communication. We don't think it's fair to take away the modern device from children due to a fewer incredibly parents. Shadow clearly has embraced television, and we believe children should too. The advantage of screen time can benefit children, parents, and ultimate causality in the world. The proposition team argued that watching TV lacks imagination, but I disagree. While watching TV, you can easily picture the character through visual images and music. However, when it comes to a book, it might not be as straightforward to imagine everything for a merged piece of paper filled with words. Is watching TV good for your brain? Absolutely. The more information you expose yourself to, the better it is for your brain. Watching just 1 hour of a TV program like Discovery can provide you with more information than reading science books. Compared to books, TV offers lots of information in system with a wider range of content, including drama, comedies, documentaries, and news programs. This allows viewers to enjoy a variety of entertainment options. Furthermore, TV shows can explore complex themes and social issues through compelling storyline and character development. Some popular shows, like Ninja Go, can only be found on TV. TV is a more accessible and convenient medium than books. It does not require specially reading skills, making it accessible to a wider audience, including those with reading difficulty or visual impairments. Closing caption and double audio also make TV accessible to a larger audience. Additionally, TV allows to passive consumption requiring minimal effort on the part of the viewer. With the advancement in technology, TV is available on multi-platform, provide instant entertainment at any time and location. In conclusion, watching TV has contributed to our understanding of the world and each other while also improving our relationship with our oneself. It's worth consider where we would
1 minute.
be without TV, movie, and news in terms of our development, knowledge, and social life. TV is one of the greatest inventions the world has ever seen, and it will be continued to improve. Better for you, your family, your friends, and everyone in the world. That's all my presentation. Thank you.
Very well timed, Min. You were just about to run out of time. You finished that right on the line there. Good job. Okay, so I'm going to, we're not going to be able to determine a fair winner because a few of the participants aren't here, but I'm just going to tally up the scores quickly, see what you got, and then I'll give you guys some feedback. So I'll be back in a moment. By the way, what do you think of my spiffy shirt and my nice jumper? I thought I'd dress up for the occasion. Okay, now keep in mind that when I read out the scores, this is just based on who was here and what you delivered. Because of the unevenness of the teams, these scores aren't actually indicative of a real winner, because yeah, we had a lot of missing people. So no, you don't need to worry about arguments for this debate anymore, Sally. So you don't need to keep writing the arguments. Okay, so based on who was here and what we delivered, the second place team today is the proposition. You came in with a score of 170 points. And the first place team, not that far ahead actually, is the opposition team, and you had 180 points. So keep in mind, guys, with one extra speaker, you actually only scored two more. You only scored two more debate points than the other team, and when that was times by 5 to work out your final score, that's what put you 10 points ahead. So it was actually a very, very close debate based on what was presented. So a little bit of feedback. So I'll start with the proposition team. Tina? So your rebuttals were quite good. You need to be a little more confident when you're speaking. I could see that you were very, very, very nervous while you were presenting. So that's something to work on for you. And of course, remember to bring your arguments to the debate. Bill, let's have a look here. Your organization and clarity in your arguments was very good. Your choice and use of arguments was very good. You need to use a bit more evidence when you present. Your rebuttals were quite good, and your presentation skills just need a little bit of work. So overall, good job. Room for improvement, but good job. And Brian, your organization and clarity was pretty good. So your speech was well organized. That could be a little bit better, but not a whole lot. So good job. The choice of arguments and your use of evidence, I gave you top scores for that. So your arguments were brilliant and your use of evidence was very, very good. You didn't rebut 3, 4. Actually, allow me to change that remark, because you didn't rebut because there was no one to rebut against. So no comment needed there. And for your presentation skills, I gave you a 3. So you spoke confidently. You looked confident while you were speaking, and I think that's because of how well prepared your arguments were. So for everybody that was here today, let Brian's example of the speech, let Brian's speech be an example of how well you can how well you can speak and how confident you can be when your arguments are well prepared. So good job, proposition team. That was a very good first go at a mock debate. So good job. We move on to the opposition team. We start with Mayan. So Mayan, your organization and clarity, I gave you a 2 because your speech was a little bit all over the place, could be better organized. I gave you a score of 3 for your arguments. Your arguments were very good. I gave you a score of 2 for your evidence. So your evidence was okay, but there's room for improvement in finding and using your evidence. You didn't have anybody to offer rebuttal against, so you don't need to worry about that score for this one. And your presentation style, I gave you a 2 because you seemed a little bit nervous while you were delivering your speech, and that showed. But again, your arguments, that was the best part of your speech, was your choice of arguments, and that's quite an important one, so good job. Sonic, organization and clarity, I gave you a 2. So it was good, but there's room for improvement. A little bit disorganized. We can work on the order of your arguments. Your use of arguments, I gave you a 2. So yeah, the arguments that were presented were, they were good, but they could have been grouped with other arguments, with different arguments to make your case a little bit stronger. So we can work on that. Your use of evidence, I gave you a 3. You provided some good evidence during your speech. Your rebuttals, I didn't mark that, but that's okay because there was nothing to rebut against. And overall, your presentation and style, I gave you a 2. So we just need to work on your confidence a little bit more. So overall, good job, Sonic. Sally Ride, the only thing I could score you for was your rebuttals, and I gave you a 2 out of 4 for that. So your rebuttals were quite good, but I think a little bit rushed and disorganized. So that's something to work on, is as the speaker before you is giving their arguments, we just need to develop your note-taking skills so that you can keep up with the speaker as they're going along. So good rebuttals, but we've got room for improvement there. And finally, Min, I scored you 3s across the board. So your organization and clarity was very good. You summed up your team's case very nicely. Your use of arguments, or your description of arguments, was very good. Your description of the evidence that was used by your team was very good. I didn't score you for the rebuttals because as the final speaker, you're not supposed to rebut anything. You're just supposed to summarize your team's case. And your presentation style, I gave you a 3 out of 4. So your confidence really came through in your speech. And that's because I think your speech was well prepared, and that showed. So good job, everybody, for a first attempt at a debate. Yeah, so good go for your first attempt. I'm just I'm just finding out how many more lessons we've got together to work out what we will be studying or doing next Tuesday. But just in case we do have more lessons together, I'm going to post the next debate topic for next Thursday in your Zalo group. So if we do have lessons until next Thursday, we'll have another practice debate next Thursday. If not, then I'll update in the Zalo group and let you know. So again, very good first try for everybody. We now know what we did well. We now know what we need to work on. If you have any questions or you'd like me to go over anything with you, please feel free to, oof, got the hiccups. Please feel free to contact me in a private message on Zalo, and I'll happily give you a bit of one-on-one help if you'd like. So again, fantastic job, guys. And to finish up, just to let you guys know, starting in the beginning of September, NCSN is planning a debate championship tournament. There'll be a small entrance fee for each team, and 100% of 100% of the money raised by the entrance fees will be going to prize money for the winning teams. So if you guys would like to if you guys would like to put together a debating team and enter this competition, contact, or not yet, so I won't say contact anybody just yet, because we still need to make the final details. But as soon as we make the announcement to the public about this competition, will be open for entries if anybody's interested. So good job, guys. I'll post your next possible debate topic in your Zalo group. You're excused. Thank you for your time today.
Okay.
You teacher.
Thank you, everybody.
Goodbye, teacher.